So, my name is Monobrow Man. How are we all doing today? Looking a little bit different from last video, which you wouldn't know because no one watched it. But on a real note, if you haven't watched that video, can you please go watch it, because it's definitely the most fun I've had making a video, and I'd really appreciate if people went and watched it, because it's sort of the style I want to try and it's sort of the direction I want to take this channel in. And honestly, I thought it was pretty good. I thought I did an alright job. I don't want to completely abandon this guy, but I sort of feel like I want to be in charge of the channel, not him. I don't want his face. He's no longer the face of Monobrow Man Studios. I should probably change that as well. I do find that the last video I uploaded, as well as other videos I've made in the past, have been an interesting learning curve for me, because I've noticed that if I just upload a video about a trending topic and don't really give any different variation to the topic and just have it just a normal thumbnail and boring and stuff like that, it doesn't really get any views, which is understandable, because if people are already doing it, they want to find something different, something new that's being brought to the table. But if I do something that's completely like bizarre and no one's really thought of doing before, like my grommet video, which was certainly interesting, it seems to actually do pretty well, at least in comparison to the rest of my uploads. So that's sort of what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing topics that I find interesting, but not that many people are talking about. I think this is going to be good. I feel like I can really take off from something like this, but ultimately I'm probably not going to. So, without further ado, let's get to the topic of discussion for today. Dr. Magnus Pyke. Who is Dr. Magnus Pyke, you may ask? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know too much about him myself. I actually kind of found him through my friend at college, who, well, he just told me to look him up, and I did. I looked him up and clicked on the first result, and we laughed hysterically. Basically, I'm going to be showing you an interview that Magnus Pyke did on February 1980. I was expecting there to be a specific day, but there isn't. To be perfectly honest, I have no idea what this interview is about, what he's going on about, and what the purpose of this interview is, but that's not what's important. So I basically just want to share this interview with the rest of the world, because it's too glorious to just keep to myself and my friend. And without further ado, let's begin the interview with Dr. Magnus Pyke.
Imperial College prides itself in producing arguably the best engineers and scientists in the country. It is these admirable men and women who are going to shape the future and make their mark on the rest of society.
Okay, so before we properly get into this, I just want to give a huge shout out to David Garney. I'm definitely butchering his name, but either way, props to you, man, because I have genuinely no idea how you were able to keep a straight face during this whole ordeal, because that deserves a Nobel Peace Prize right there.
Is Dr. Magnus Pyke, OBE. Magnus, welcome to Stoic and Imperial College.
Not at all. Thank you for having me.
Not at all. Well, let's start by looking back at what must be by any standards a very impressive career. You were born and bred in London, and you went to St Paul's School.
Right.
And then you went over to Canada and McGill University, Montreal.
Right.
And what did you do there?
You're probably wondering, well, this seems relatively normal. He seems like a pretty chilled out kind of guy. Well, just wait. Things are about to get interesting.
And then you went over to Canada and McGill University, Montreal.
Right.
And what did you do there?
Well, I left this country in order to seek my fortune. When you're a young chap in your teens, you tend to do these things. And I saw an advertisement saying, Canada wants the right type of young man, it said. And I thought that must be me. And since it was only £3, I went.
Okay, so if you actually watched my last video, which you probably didn't, you may remember I talked about how I don't really laugh at stuff on my own, but when I have a friend who's laughing at something, I sort of tend to laugh along with him because laughter's contagious. This is kind of another one of those situations. I'm just kind of here on my own, I'm not really. I don't know. If I just found this on my own, I probably wouldn't find it that funny. But because my friend found this extremely funny, I'm just kind of. Yeah.
It was a very good scheme. I found that when I got there, I was working on a farm during the summer, and then I was attached to the Faculty of Agriculture.
Although I do have to admit, his hands gestures are kind of all over the place. The way he speaks, it's just kind of his facial expressions as well. Not as good as my facial expressions, obviously, but yeah, we just. Oh, what? Just. I can't do this. I'm never going to get used to this.
Well, the degree was a very good one. It was an honours degree, and part of it was to do a project, and I was studying the significance of copper.
I think the most significant thing about him is definitely the way he uses his hands in very bizarre ways. Like what even is that right there? Like how do you even do that? Right, I'm gonna try it. So yeah, he's using his like left hand, no, right hand. It doesn't really matter. It's so it's like his thumb's sort of like bent in a little bit, like that. It's sort of like that, and then the fingers are sort of bent back like this. How?
I was studying the significance of copper. Copper.
The significance of copper.
And copper, as you may know, is a very pervasive mineral, and small quantities can be measured with considerable accuracy. And I had to get up early in the morning, go down to the experimental farm, and milk a copper-free cow into a wooden bucket.
You had to milk a copper-free cow? A copper-free cow? Copper-free cow? Maybe I could just start a collection of guys over here.
And from then on, you've always been interested in food and food science.
Well, how that came is my PhD thesis was...
For some reason, like, he seems to be under the impression that he just has to move his arms all the time. What's going on? Oh, the food science. Oh, food science.
Feeding groups of people in factories. In fact, I did, if you look at the first volume of the British Journal of Nutrition...
Okay, so this is the one that I've really been wanting to get to. So, what is that? What is that? Right, okay, so we've got to recreate this one now. So, the thumb is sort of like... Right, so his thumb's sort of like stretched out quite a bit. So, the circle's kind of like that. The circles are, the two fingers up there are kind of like this, and then there's, is that it? It doesn't look anything like what he's doing there. Yeah, we started doing this at school, and it was supposed to sort of mean something like it was just sort of our greeting, like hand signal or something, I don't know.
A booklet, which is now the Manual of Nutrition, published by the Stationery Office in its umpteenth edition.
He's just very sporadic. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't know what that means. But just the way he's always like looking around, just trying to. I don't know what this video is. Why am I making this video?
I've got a new book coming out in about 6 weeks' time.
What was that? Was he distracted by a fly that was on the ceiling? I've got a book coming out in...
Right now, I will give you a lesson and all you need to know about nutrition.
Okay, go ahead.
2 things. 1, eat enough...
So, 2 things, but he lifted up 1 finger. I don't know, I need to come up with something. I'm just working with what's given to me.
Eat enough, but not too much. In other words, don't be hungry and waste away.
Don't be hungry and waste away.
Don't be hungry and waste away.
What's he supposed to be conveying there? Like, is this what happens when you get hungry? Is this what you do? I don't know, maybe it is. Is this like wasting away? I don't know. Why am I making this video? I'm never gonna get anywhere with this.
What
That's
about
all of nutrition. You needn't bother about whether you had enough cyanocobalamin in your Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, it's just very spontaneous. It's very like, oh, I don't know what he was saying. He was very like, oh, there's my nose.
Junk food.
All right, junk foods.
Now, when they talk about junk foods, that is an emotive term which should never pass the lips of a scientist.
But it just passed your lips. You betrayed me, Magnus.
I was in Australia, and when you're in Australia and you're miles away from them, they think you're a great expert. And they said to me, "You're a great expert."
Dr. Magnus, you're such a great expert. Please teach me all you know about healthy eating and how to not be hungry and waste away. I think I've definitely got issues.
What do you think about junk foods? I said, "What are junk foods?" And I happened to say, "What are junk foods?" And they slapped down into my hand. What do you think? A hamburger.
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 Hamburger. Hamburger. Hamburger.
Truly ahead of its time, this.
I won't say who made it.
Okay. Right.
Well, you made it pretty obvious who made it, so why did you need to... I don't know, were they in some sort of business rivalry with Mickey D's at the time, so they weren't allowed to, like, say the name of the restaurant unless they were being sponsored by them or something? I don't know, I'm trying to create some sort of fake backstory. I'm just trying to say something. I don't know what, I've got nothing to say. I'm just trying to, two videos, the editing will save it probably. I'm kind of hoping.
Really what they were doing is they were denigrating hamburgers.
Had I watched this like 2 months before I saw it, I would have just been like, oh okay, he just had hamburgers in a funny way. But now with this whole thing meme that's come out about hamburgers, there's just a whole new layer of comedy that's been provided to this clip.
Now, when I was young, I remember the middle class. I remember my own parents who had some claim to be middle class saying, "Do you know, my dear?"
What was that, like a voice mic right there? I think I just did it as well, so I can't really talk about it.
"Do you know, my dear, why the working classes are all spotty and suffer from dandruff?"
So you just calling me out?
And they were merely being snobbish. And the people who attack junk foods and fast foods and so on are really being snobbish, not being scientific.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, we have it. We got it. We got proof. 100% proof. It doesn't matter about junk food. People who complain about junk foods and say that they're bad for you, they don't care. They're just being snobbish. They're just being like, oh, look at me. I don't eat junk food because I'm progress. I want to be healthy. I want to have a six-pack. I don't want to be overweight. All them overweight people eating junk food is ridiculous. It's a madness. Well, Dr. Magnus Pyke has just proved to us all that junk foods aren't real. It's about the person's personal definition of junk foods. That's what it is. Junk foods are made up. It's not a real concept. I don't know why I'm doing this.
But what about the actual meats that we eat?
Now, when you say we, who do you mean? We, you mean the human race? Or
Say
you
the
and I?
Western world.
Yeah, whenever someone says we, they never specify who they mean. Do they mean the entire planet? Do they mean the entire country? Everyone else on your bloody street? Everyone chilling in your classroom in the boys' locker room? Like, when you say we gotta stop using the word we. Wii is the Nintendo console from the early 2000s. The connective Wii, or I don't know if it's a connective, the WE word is pointless. It has no meaning. Just say the people that you're referring to as we. Just say what the group of people is called. Don't say we. It's useless. It's a waste of time. Just stop. How do you like that comedic falling over right there? That was funny.
And that is true. If you walk out into the road outside and get run over, and I nearly did get run over coming here.
Just throwing in a random rant about how he got run over.
Bruh.
And that is not, you're not making a biochemical comment, you're making an aesthetic comment. Waiter, the soup is cold.
That's sort of the thing. It seems like he has multiple personality disorder. Like, one time he'll just be talking calmly about one thing, then all of a sudden he's just gonna go all energetic and stuff. Dude, I'm just pointing out stuff you can clearly see by watching the video, and I wonder why I only have 35 subscribers.
During the war years, we were looking around for food on which to feed the 50 millions of the British population. We would look for every kind of sauce. Now, at that time...
They haven't got the sauce. We've forgotten the sauce, Magnus.
In case in the night in the air raid the building fall on your old granny, you see, you...
Just talking about how a building's gonna fall on your grandma. That's a bit dark. I actually didn't know that was in there. It kind of makes me like him even more. Okay, you know what? I honestly have no idea where this video is going, so I'm just gonna skip to like the main bit of the video that we always laugh at, and then I'm just gonna call it a day because I really don't know what to do. I want to play Minecraft.
Like steam engines, where you use the heat released by this chemical reaction. Now, the thigh power is an interesting thing, because you see, if I want to kick a man, get going, what do? I have an elastic tissue over the top of this jointed contraption here, and I'm taking glucose, and there am I metabolizing it slowly.
Okay, so you might think, well, why is this the funniest part of the video? Well, we've analysed this roughly 20 seconds of footage, and we have constructed an incredible... We've studied this roughly 20 seconds of footage, and there are surprisingly many more layers than one would first imagine. First of all, he's just finishing off a conversation that he's just talking about chemical reactions or something. I didn't watch all of it, but that's the last thing he says, so I assume that's sort of what it's about. And then he just pauses for a good like 2 seconds, and then all of a sudden just goes into a whole different topic about the firepower. Now we actually, funny enough, were able to track down Magnus Pyke and asked him to come in for an interview of our own. No, we didn't, he's dead. But we were gonna discuss the supposed firepower that he possesses. While we weren't able to get any direct information from him, we did go on his Wikipedia page, which is definitely legitimate, and we were able to discover that the firepower is an interesting thing. The firepower is how Magnus Pyke is controlled. It's how he generates his energy to be all sporadic and energetic. That's how he's able to wave his arms around all the time. That's why he needs to touch his head, because the firepower is just, it's going too far into his brain, it's gonna make it explode. So he has to keep rubbing it to make sure it doesn't overheat. It's the reason he has a sudden tone-in voice out of nowhere. But firepower is getting too deep into his brain. It's making him all... The firepower actually created multiple personalities into his mind, so they keep just coming in and out of existence out of nowhere. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to make this a little bit more interesting. But the most powerful thing the firepower can do is it gives you the ability to kick a man. It gives you the amazing ability to fight against all your enemies and take them down in one simple swoop. He will make you one punch Magnus. And then he talks about how he's digesting glucose. Now, most people aren't able to digest glucose. I don't know if that means anything or if it's correct. It probably isn't. But you know how Magnus Pyke... You know how Magnus Pyke digests glucose? He has to use the magic word known as and the glucose just mysteriously vanishes into his body, and it goes into it helps keep the firepower going inside of him, and it allows him to keep having the ability to kick a man. I have no idea what this video is, but it kind of turned into something funny towards the end. No, it didn't. It's probably just gonna make me look like a complete and utter set 8 kid. Anyway, I don't know how long I've been recording for. I don't know if this is going to make a 10-minute video, but it doesn't matter because I can't make money from my videos anyway because I don't have 1,000 subscribers. So I'm just going to end this video here. If you did somehow enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like down below and also subscribe while you're there. We're trying to shoot for 40 subscribers by the end of the year. Also, you can check out my meme Instagram at monobrownman memes, and you can also check out my Twitter at monobrownman. Also today, literally today I got a Discord account, so I might possibly be getting a Discord server at some point in the distant future when I have enough people that would actually want to join it. And also maybe when I get a new laptop I'll start doing streams so I can play Minecraft, because I really want to play Minecraft. And anyway, I've been Monobrownman and these guys have been whatever their names are, and we will see you guys in the next one. If you ever want to watch another one of these terrible videos again,